Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to take this wild ride from the electrical sparks inside our brains all the way to that buy now click on a screen.
I mean, it sounds kind of like science fiction, doesn't it? But what if I told you the secret to your next successful campaign wasn't buried in some spreadsheet, but was actually sitting right inside your customer's head? Let's dive into how the brain's basic wiring can totally transform your marketing.
Okay, so it really all starts with communication. And for us to get how that works, we've got to look at these two, well, think of them as tiny but super powerful headquarters in the brain that manage everything we say and hear. Here's a simple way to think about it. It's like a relay race inside your skull. Wernicke's area, that's your interpreter. It's the one that catches the message, figures out what it all means. Then, it passes the baton over to Broca's area, our speechwriter, which actually puts together the words for a reply. They're a total dynamic duo, right? One can't really do its job without the other.
You know, this little three-step dance, it's happening thousands of times a day without you even thinking about it. And this is the crucial bit for any marketer. If your message is confusing, if it's jumbled, it never even gets past step one. You absolutely cannot persuade a brain that doesn't understand you. So clarity, it's not just a nice to have, it's everything.
Okay, so we've got the basics of how a general human brain handles language. But here's the thing. You're not marketing to a general brain, are you? You're marketing to a very specific person. So how do we bridge that gap? How do we get inside their head? Well, that's where we build something called a user persona. And listen, this isn't just some creative writing project. A good persona is built on hard data, on real research. It becomes your North Star, you know? It makes sure every single ad, every email, every post you make is aimed squarely at the right person.
All right, let's actually do this. Let's build one right now for, say, an activewear brand. We'll call her Amy. So first, we get the basic stuff down, right? The who. She's 32, a busy professional living in Taipei, and she hits the gym regularly. It's a solid start, but honestly, this is just scratching the surface.
Okay, now we get to the good stuff, the stuff that really matters. What does Amy actually want, and what drives her nuts? Her goal is pretty straightforward. She wants activewear that looks good, feels comfortable, and doesn't break the bank. But her pain point? It's that feeling of being totally overwhelmed by too many options. That's a real thing, a cognitive load. It literally taxes the brain. And our job is to slice right through that noise.
And finally, where do we find her? What's she doing? Well, she's scrolling through Instagram looking for ideas, and she's a total sucker for a good flash sale or a limited time deal. And that right there is pure gold, because now we know exactly where to start the conversation, and more importantly, how to start it.
All right, we know who Amy is, we know what she wants. Now it's time to open up the playbook. Our mission, and it's really a two-part mission, is simple. First, we find her online. Second, we use the right psychological triggers, the right language, to really connect with her.
This is exactly how we go from just shouting into the void and hoping someone hears us to whispering directly into the right person's ear. See, with tools like audience segmentation, we can zero in. We're not just targeting women, we're targeting women 25 to 40 in Taipei who love yoga and have recently bought athletic clothes online. Boom, no more wasted money.
So, once we found her, once we have her attention, we start using these proven psychological nudges. Think of them as little shortcuts for the brain, right? Things it's already wired to respond to. When we say, only 5 left in your size, that's scarcity, and it creates urgency. Over 1,000 people have bought this. That's social proof, and it builds instant trust. We're basically making the decision to buy feel, well, easy, natural even.
Okay, so we've put together this awesome brain-focused strategy, but how do we know if it's actually working? Are we just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks? Nope. This is where the data comes in. We have to measure what matters, and we do that with key performance indicators, or KPIs.
Just think of these 3 as your campaign's vital signs. First, click-through rate, or CTR. It's simple. Are people even clicking on our ad? Is it interesting? Then there's cost per click, CPC. How much are we paying for each one of those clicks? Is it efficient? And finally, the big one, return on investment, ROI. Bottom line, are we actually making more money than we're spending?
And this is where things get really, really cool. Modern AI tools can chew through all this data for us and spit out incredible insights. Take a look at this. On Facebook, we got a ton of clicks, which looks great on paper, right? But the ROI was pretty low. Meanwhile, over on Google Ads, we had fewer clicks, sure, but a much higher return. That single piece of data tells us exactly where to put our money next.
So let's just pull this all together. When you combine a little bit of brain science, a really sharp customer persona, those targeted psychological nudges, and smart, data-driven measurement, well, you're not just running ads anymore. You're creating marketing that actually thinks.
It really comes down to this idea here. At the end of the day, it's about deeply understanding the person on the other side of the screen, their real needs, their brain's shortcuts, what frustrates them. When you do that, you stop being that annoying interruption they scroll right past, and you become the exact solution they were hoping to find.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Are you just running ads, just making noise, or are you actually starting a conversation with your customer's brain? Because one of those gets ignored, and the other one builds a brand. Thanks for watching The Explainer.